What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Contractor Secrets podcast. Wow, awesome episode with Nick Kelley of Elite Home Renovations. This guy's one of my very good friends. He is someone that brings energy. You're going to feel it in this podcast. He is someone that doesn't take no for an answer. He's someone that pursues his mission, his vision, and he is on honestly like just like a blazing path of glory is what it feels like talking to this guy. I wanted to bring him on because I know there's a lot of you out there that were just like Nick. I mean, if anyone was one of those individuals who just came out of working for somebody, started his business and figured it out on his own, aside from, reaching out and utilizing resources, it's Nick. And he's such an awesome success story. Great guy, all around character, family, values. So you're going to get a lot out of this one. This was probably one of my favorite interviews up until this point. So you're going to love it. Check it out. You can reach Nick. He gives you his Instagram handle at the end of the episode. So I hope you love it. We'll dive in right now. Contractors all over the world are wanting more time, more freedom, more impact. The way we do this is through implementing systems, processes, standards. Welcome to the Contractor Secrets podcast. Here we hit business strategy, coaching, mindset, motivation, the tools you need for success. So strap in, listen up, and get ready to grow on the Contractor Secrets podcast. We're on the Facebook group. Here we are.
Love it.
We're live, man. All right, cool. So I'm going to do my intro thing and then we'll kick it off, bro. So what's up, everyone? I'm here with my good buddy, Nick Kelley, Elite Paint Home Renovations. This guy brings so much energy to the industry. I'm already energized. I was listening to some good music getting ready for you today because we can't be on a low frequency here. We got to talk business. And the reason I invited Nick here is because I don't know, he's crushing it. So I just want to get some feedback, help me in my business and help you in yours. So, man, Nick, tell us your story, man. I want to hear it, man. Tell me what the progression has been like in the last 2 years for you. That's what I really am interested in because there's been a major shift, I think, dude, from when I first met you to now. Like you've expanded a lot. So what's that shift been like, bro?
So a little background. So I used to be a union painter, painted for the union for years, right? And then I did a lot of side work when I was working for the union. So I was usually working after work, doing 1 or 2 jobs every week, doing the sales, doing everything myself. And then about 2 years ago, I decided to, try and do it my own way, right? Picked up a couple guys, started working alongside them. And then the big, I would say, differentiating factor of everything was I went to the PCA. And a lot of the things that I thought could basically happen, you know what I mean, for painters and how I thought my company, what I wanted my company to be. I seen a whole bunch of people doing exactly what I wanted to do. So basically I came back and, because I was actually like running a job, you know what I mean? What they always say, running a job.
You're owning a job.
Owning a job. Yes. Yeah. I owned a job, man. So my big thing was once I realized what everyone else was doing to actually run a business is really when I knuckled down. And some of the big shifts is what I started hiring people. I got off of actually painting. I started training. Nick was one of the guys that I met at the PCA, and his whole 4-day work week where he trains and he kind of builds from within was something that I was super interested in. So I started bringing guys on, training them to do a lot of the things that I did. I tried building dummy-proof systems, finding products that were easy to spray, easy, figuring out exactly what PSI I wanted them to spray certain products with and stuff like that. And just started, person by person building a company. And I think our first year we did about 400 grand. And then this year we're looking at about 750,000 that we're going to do. I have a secretary now, a shop. I have 8 employees. I am still doing sales as of right now, but I built a sales process and I'm in the process of training a guy to take that as well. My biggest thing though, if I can give anybody pointers, was I always looked like I was a big guy, right? I had my trucks wrapped right away. Yeah. I had, North Face, Carhartt, all that kind of stuff. All my guys were wearing the same swag. I bought everyone boots. I had
I
Vans
love it.
everything. So I had Vans wraps, everything. So when I was coming up there, even though I was a smaller company, because I started giving prices like I was a bigger company. I didn't start kind of inching my way up there. I was like, hey, I know what I'm worth. I know what value we bring. And I started charging what everybody else was. But because I looked the part, a lot of people trusted
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
big thing was reviews. I started getting reviews, like really going hard on reviews after the PCA. And I'm at 98 5-star reviews.
Nice. Two more.
Two more for that
Everyone
100, baby.
stop right now. Get on Google.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, but listen, man, I want to kind of scale back because there was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
And I knew that was a great the come up, right? I mean, we met at PCA. I mean, you were like a sponge. You were dialed in, bro. You were buzzing around the place like you were on a mission, dude. And it shows. And I was interested because when I saw you, I'm like, that guy's gonna do something this year. It was really easy to see. And you're doing it, man. I think it was cool. One thing that stood out is that you invest in your team. You brought your project manager to the expo when many people may not do that. Maybe they're concerned that the project manager would pick up information and start their own thing. That's a thought that people have. Not your
100%.
leadership style, bro. Not your leadership style, and it shows. So kind of just unpacking like a few things that you said that's really good that I want to hit on. Number one was how you dialed into the research, right? I think there was you put out a picture of you with a screwdriver and the cabinet door, and you were just like, I think you're the type of person that just gets fascinated, and then you dial in and you say, I can do that, and I'm going to do it. Like your confidence level is through the roof. Where's that come from?
I just, from my background, I've been at the bottom, you know what I mean? Like legitimately, you know what I mean? I went from having nothing to, grabbing onto painting and it being something that I could do. And, I just have always been like that, sports, everything like that. And I just really don't have the limiting beliefs. I really honestly believe that I can have as big of a company as I want, as long as I'm willing to put in the work. And my big thing is I never think I know more than anybody. You know what I mean? Like I think I know a lot, like don't get me wrong, but I'm never talking to somebody and not thinking that I can learn from them. And I'm a big on trying things and it might fail, and trying things and fail and trying things until it works. And I don't wait 6 months to do the next thing. No, I'm like, oh, that didn't work. Next.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm big on.
Get to the money quicker. What's cool about that mindset is turned out to be pretty good, for you. You have another shop, right? You've mastered.
I'm in it right now.
He's in the new shop. Let's get a glance. Can you do a spin?
Yeah, a little spin here. I got a couple desks.
Nice.
I'm getting there. I got the crew. So I give the whole company the week off for Thanksgiving and the week off for Christmas. So we're actually having a little party. We're gonna put some carpet down in here, do some paint and stuff, put some new ceiling tiles in. So just give them a little easy day, get them out of there early, man.
Great, man. I love the culture you're building, and it speaks volumes to the quality and I'm sure your reputation. But dialing back in, man, you weren't even doing cabinets in PCA Expo time.
No. Wow. So this is another crazy thing, right? So
I got the insight, man.
You did.
I know.
So the first cabinet job we ever did, right? I went on YouTube. Obviously I've sprayed a bunch and done stuff like that, but I know that cabinets is a little bit different than spraying just regular trim, right? So I really dove in and did research. I actually took, we did 17 different products. We tested and scratch tested and dipped them in water and
17 different products.
17 different products altogether until I found one. Yeah, well, I wanted to separate myself from everybody else, right? So I just found something that worked that I thought was easily that I could easily train someone to do, that was still a stellar product for everybody to use. And but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to because I really
take me through that. Don't go away from there. 17 products. Don't leave that. That's good.
Yeah. So I've tried wall paint. So everybody was trying the Scuff X's. Yep. They were trying.
You just wanted to see for yourself, right? You weren't taking any. You're just like, I'm going to go through this process.
No, I was like, I'm going to spray it myself. I'm going to do how different kind of systems, because we tried Sticks primer. That wasn't it, right? We tried a lot like oil bases. They were great. Didn't like how they sanded. Still left a little bit of a texture. So what we finally dialed in that we like is we use Renner products. We love them. We've used Malesi as well. They're great products as well. but just for me, I just like the render a little bit better. But the biggest thing is that the durability, the hand oils, it's just the A1 product, and it's easy for me to sell to my customers because we try to label ourselves more of like a customer service business that is great at what we do. You know what I mean? That's what we try to present ourselves as.
Yeah.
So
when you're going into the house, are you bringing that cabinet door in?
Oh, absolutely. Every time. I got 3 different samples. I got a maple one, a oak one,
Nice.
and a pine as well.
And what do they do when they get that cabinet door? They take it from you and they they touch it.
Well, yeah, I touch it. So I bring a microfiber rag in there. I let them go to town on it with soap and water. Plus, I have it's a double-headed quarter that I keep in my pocket. Okay, and basically I bust it out and I say, "Go to town at it." You know what I mean?
This guy's the greatest showman in the painting business.
Yeah, I try, man. I try. So I can go to town on it, and then every week, what we do with those sample doors is at the end of the week we refinish them.
Wow!
And then yep.
This guy wants to be great.
Yes.
Wow! You refinish the sample doors. You know how many people do the sample doors once? Never. Their sample doors have dings and dents.
Nope.
I love it, man. Good for you.
Yes.
So you actually, so you kind of create. I'm all about an experience too. I mean, that's memorable. I mean,
right.
Come on, who's the guy coming after you after that, right?
Yeah.
So of course, I like to teach on that. Like the experience is so important and the value. So you go in, you come to my house, you give me a cabinet refinishing quote. Let me ask you a question, because in this industry, I'm hearing a lot of the noise about, and I know kind of what your answer is, but I really want to hear it from you, right?
Gotcha.
How hard do you pre-qualify over the phone, or do you let your sales process do the talking? You bet.
No, I pre-qualify. So my shout out to Pathfinder. They laid us some framework. I'm actually in their new program. And they left us I had some appointment because I have some sales background as well. So I obviously had a nice little appointment setting, right? But Pathfinder helped us dial that in even better. Shout out to Eric. And we do pre-qualify. Like, I'll be real with you. I hear 10% turn down, right? To a lot of people. But when you're the highest cost or the higher cost, you have to do a little bit more pre-qualifying for that, because I don't really want to waste my time, because the problem with cabinet refinishing is that, some people are going in there willing to do a cabinet refinishing job for $2,500 with trim paint, right? So you have to be able to explain to these people why that's a maintenance coating and that's not an actual refinish, Nice. So yeah, it'll look good when they leave, right? Nice. But how long is that going to hold up? If I pay someone $2,500 and by the end of the year I got to touch it up, I'm not going to be too happy with that investment.
No, not at all. Not at all. I love it, man. I think that speaks volumes to just kind of like setting the standard. In terms of your pre-qualification, like, what does that sound like, man? If I called you and I said, hey, I'd like to get my cabinets painted, I got another quote from a painter. What are you saying?
One of our biggest things is our, how long are you going to be at this house, right? So that's one question we ask, because if they're only going to be there for a year, okay, why would you pay me thousands of dollars more to refinish? We're giving out, we call them lifetime cabinets. That's what we call them. You got lifetime cabinets. As long as you don't put
you're bold enough to tell a customer
100%,
lifetime
100%.
Crazy. So you go. Yes. So the customer calls you. Hey, I like my cabinets painted. I'm your customer.
Okay. So when I walk in, I go real quick and I say this. I go, listen. So we spell out the process of step by step exactly what we're going to do to it when I send you out the invoice. I'm going to go through this. I could go through here and explain our process, just like all the other 3 people that are going to come in here, or I'm going to tell you what actually separates our company and our quality from the other guys. So let me take about 2 seconds, take a couple pictures real quick, and we'll get down to the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? So I sit down with them and then I just literally tell them the experience from when they called to after we leave, because one thing I always say is, hey, if we leave here at 4 p.m., right? Because lighting's different at 4 p.m., nighttime, morning, right? We actually have 9,000 lumen lights. We bring 2 on site and we have at there. So I make sure they're like perfect, right? And I actually guarantee our cabinets for
you got a flashlight. I got 9,000 lumens.
Yes. That's why I do that. Because I'm like, if I can make it look good in 9,000 lumens, there ain't no light they're going to bust out that's going to look bad in.
goodness. So you walk them through the process, because I think you're aware that this is the first time they've ever had this experience, right? It's still a new thing. People are
And I break
finally
down. One of the biggest things that I do to separate it, though, is I break down and I tell them there's levels to cabinet refinishing. If you want something that's going to come out of an actual cabinet shop, that's going to look like, if you want your cabinets to look brand new, that someone's not going to know, and they're going to be durable, test well to them and everything, hand oils, water, all that kind of stuff. Like, we're your company. If you're just looking to throw paint on these, then I would definitely take the $2,500 bid all day, because we're guaranteeing our cabinets. We also keep paint. So like, our customers throughout 3 years, I even tell them, I mean, we're finishing, 1 to 3 sets of cabinets every week. So our thing is, if you have one door that like might need a little touch up, just drop it off at our shop. I have paint left over. As long as we have paint, we just respray it for them, and we tell them to pick it back up from the shop, and people love that, man. You know what I mean? Like, and how many people have we actually done that for? Maybe 3 this whole year. You know what I mean? So it's just sometimes things happen and they like that. Hey, I'm going to make this huge investment with this company. And if for some reason something happens, they're going to take care of it. And they trust me, they trust me.
Incredible. I mean, incredible what you've done at this point, man. And if you just stick with that and you continue to build the team with that culture, now you're employees, right?
Yes.
Oh, you're on my team. See, I'm an employee guy. I believe in the long-term investment.
Yes.
Are you apprehensive to do subcontractors?
I'm not. I'm thinking about actually subcontracting out for exteriors this season.
No, I'm talking about cabinets, buddy.
No, I would never do that. No, I would never. I have a system that I can train. I mean, I've already trained 2 new sprayers this year. That
never painted.
No, they never had sprayed a cabinet door, and now they're doing full-on sets of cabinets, guts, everything like that. 2 guys. I have one guy that had like 7 years experience at a cabinet shop. He's actually my buddy. I've known him for 15 years. We used to work, funny story, we worked together, separated. He came back, said, I ain't trying to do all the business side. I said, well, come on, buddy, let's do this.
Wow,
you know what I mean?
That, man. Good.
Yeah.
So you're nurturing. So in other words, like, you have a lot of leverage in the market, man. You can pretty much create your own production. You're really zeroing in on the sales process. I love cabinets because the competition is a lot thinner than for painting. I mean, it's if you dial that process in, what you're doing, I mean, it's almost like a hidden gem, right? I mean, you're almost like treasure hunting every day, right? So, going back to that process, I'm just fascinated with it. So you're doing a good job of storytelling. And I think, whenever I do these, I kind of just want to give back to whoever's listening. Is like, storytelling is so important, because you can't expect people to know what goes into this process, because they've never seen it. They can't touch it. They can't feel it. Now with the cabinet door, they can see what the end result will look like. But we both know it's uncomfortable giving up your kitchen for a week.
Right. Well, I don't take it for a week. So what we actually do is the process we do. I actually pick the door. So let's say because we do free color consultations too, right? That's a nice, people love that too. Because I tell people all the time, I go, if I paint your cabinets perfect, but you don't like the color, is that really a good job? Not really. I don't think so. Especially when you're the highest price. Trust me, it never works out. Okay. So, but our big thing is we started picking up the cabinet doors the week before we actually go into their house to do the bases, right? Because we spray all the bases. So I have the doors finished by the time my guys walk onto the job. Okay.
What? That's different.
Yes. So I pick them up a week before. And then all the guys I have 2 guys, sometimes 3, depending on how big the kitchen is.
So normally I think companies go in and they do the bases, and at the same time they rip the cabinets down.
Yeah, we don't do that. It's way more. I mean, if you have enough employees to where you can have someone at the shop doing 3 sets of doors for the next 2 weeks, and they're already done when you walk on there, and all you have to worry about is prepping the boxes. That's the system
that I thought would be most effective, where you just have people in the shop cranking out doors, and you have people out in the field cranking out frames. Like, that to me is efficiency. Like, I don't know how I feel about, okay, this crew only works on their kitchen.
No,
that doesn't, I don't like that.
No, it works out better. I mean, we've tried it. So we used to actually, which is so crazy now that I think about it, honestly, we used to do it in 3 days, man. We used to take down the doors, degrease them all, sand them, prime them, and paint them, and the bases in 3 days. Now we have 4 or 5 guys on these jobs, right?
Yeah.
But it's just way easier and less stressful for everyone, because
everyone has a role.
I think about my
you have guys that just go do the frames.
Yes. Yep.
That's all they do, frames.
All they do is they mask off. All they do every single week, they mask off and then they do the frames. That's all they do.
Wow.
And then I got a guy who literally just stays in the shop and sprays doors.
Do you think they should be getting paid more than the people that do the doors?
No way. The doors are the money makers, bro. 100%. Because if you got the frame looking pretty and you
just
put all
the
those
prep
doors up,
the prep is pretty intense for a kitchen.
yeah. Plus, there's more bondoing and things of that
Right.
nature on the
Yeah.
doors that have to be really like intricate and everything like that.
Yeah.
So like, you know, everything's so much. You know, you have such a finer line.
Detail. Right.
Yes.
No, I love that.
Yes.
This is a good system, man. I'm a big fan of it, and I don't think I knew you were doing it like that. It's awesome, dude.
Well, we switched it. This is newer since we have more
new.
people. So
Good.
Yeah.
How many people do you have?
So we got 8 guys in the field and then a secretary right now.
Incredible.
And I had 2 guys last year.
2 guys last year. So that's a big jump, man.
That's huge.
And it really looks like, from what you told me, it was just being exposed to other people doing what you want to do and being like, I could do this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, the confidence.
Well, my big thing is that like what really gave me the confidence is once I was testing these products though, and I knew when I was going to sell them, right? And I was so confident in everything because I had hours, man. I knew how many hours the wood actually will warp before it takes my paint off, right? So I say that to the customer. I'm like, listen, you can dip you keep the sample door. You can keep this in that water and you'll see that wood warp before the actual paint will come off.
You dug deep into the foundation of this process, which not only gave you the confidence instead of speculating, which that's what a lot of people do. Well, what product should I use? What process? You just said, you know what, I'm going to just do this. I'm going to get every product out there. They probably all gave you free samples. Is that how you did it? Did you call them?
Oh, I got a lot. Yeah, I got
I figured they probably all sent you a sample of it, right? And then you learned along the way, but what you did was you created this freaking locked in core memory that you can portray in your sales process, because being flashy is cool on, you know, in some cases, but dude, you know, these people really appreciate the technicality behind what you're doing. And
we do a lot of one other thing that I really try to do is educate when I go on these estimates. It's more about educating the customer because we fixed 16 cabinet jobs last year. Okay. So, you know, that's 16 people that invested X amount of dollars, then had to pay our actual price, the higher price, to come in and fix it, right? So I actually leave them with a sheet of paper about different brands of paint that are maintenance coatings, and then other brands, even brands that I don't use, that are things that I would want to see on my refinishing quote, right? So I even give them information. So, hey, even if you don't use us, if you're getting a quote and they're using these products, like at least you know they're going to be done the right way.
Wow. I love it. I mean, if you were a customer, how much would you appreciate that?
Right? Oh, I appreciate it a ton.
There's a lot of unknowns, you know. Now, are you negotiating?
Now, yeah, and that's the one thing that I always leave a little bit of room for negotiation, right? I just do it. I do it on every job, to be honest with you. I know my profit margins. I know my labor costs. We don't pay for material, so that's another thing that people think is crazy, but it's going on your cabinets.
That's the Michigan standard. You know,
that is. Brad, shout out to Brad. He knows, yeah.
So you guys don't pay for materials up there. Teach Florida that.
Yeah, right. I know. No, we don't.
Wait, that's freaking weird. I'm sorry. I just can't imagine. Right? I just can't imagine giving a massive labor price and then being like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm going to send you a bill for the materials on this.
Well, we used so much paint. We're on tier 1 pricing right now. So, like, if you actually look, like, and I sent him a screenshot just to show him, like, the actual price.
You do that for your exterior and interior painting as well.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Well, if enough people do it, it becomes normal.
Well, I mean, some people, I'll be real with you. Like, my one buddy runs a masonry company. He's the one that I'm partnering up with Elite Stone with or whatever. And he thinks that's crazy. He's like, bro, I don't know how you do that. I'm
You don't pick it up, do they? You guys still pick it up for them?
No, we pick it up. We give them our discount.
They got to paint too?
Yeah, no, they don't have to do that. We do pretty much everything else. But what we do is we show them, like, the difference. Like, because, like, we're at tier 1 pricing. So, like, a normal can of their primer is like $120 a gallon. I get it for around $86 a gallon. You know what I mean? So I show them they're saving almost $40 a gallon.
What's interesting about that, though, and I have to challenge that, is because that reminds me of like the flooring business, because I do own a little bit of a flooring division, and we don't charge for materials because it ranges, right? Like the thing about flooring is, you know, it could go from $1 a square to $6 a square, and for us to sell the job, we can't depend on that variable to close the deal. And that's what a lot of remodelers do. They'll say, okay, well, this is your price, and then we'll give you allowances, or we'll come up with some sort of way to get a commitment, and then there's this variable in pricing. But the painting industry works this way because, generally speaking, the pricing is consistent. It's either $35 a gallon, or you're not going to go above that. You just need to know how much you're going to use. So in other words, like, are you just kind of like, I'm just curious how you're going about that, because I use the paint in my pricing to make up for a lot of the profit. That's, you do tack on markup on that paint.
Right. Yeah, I don't do that.
But what you're doing is you're just doubling up on the labor, right? Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's really what I'm just doing is that I know what it takes for us to do the quality of work that we do and the products we need to instill my guarantees, right? And I'm not willing, and it even says that on the paper, I'm not willing to use a cheaper product to give them a better price for a worse outcome. I'm just not willing to do that.
Right.
And I just truly believe, like I said, because I don't get to take home the paint. The paint stays on the cabinets. They get the little bit of leftover that they get. So I mean, that's pretty much how I go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, dude. And that hasn't, and now, did you just start doing that after you heard Brad was doing it?
No, I've been doing that the whole time. Even when I did side jobs, I did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's good, man. So you've practiced that in a sense, but doesn't that give them, I would say, doesn't that open up the door for them to question your labor price? Because that's all you're charging. Do you ever get people to question your labor price?
No one's ever questioned my labor price. And the reason is because I don't really think anybody's presenting the way that I am, to be honest with you. I bet you if I went and did my sales process and didn't have all these systems and things, because we have a checks and balances system set up for our crew leaders. And each job that we have is a custom project plan for each project. So, and it's numbered, okay? And each person, so that he might send the project manager, let's say we got Josh's crew, he might send Dan to do 1 through 7. He might send Craig to do 8 through 12. Well, once they get each of those done, they cross them out. And at the end of each day, he signs off on that. And then I usually will stop out at the job every other day, every 2 days, just to see how it's going. Yeah. And then I actually sign off on that as well. So we have things set up to give them, to make sure that they're going to get exactly what they want. That's the thing. Yeah. Plus, we don't get paid until they're totally 100% satisfied.
Do you collect the deposit?
Well. We don't take any deposit.
Wow. So have you had anyone cancel on you?
We've had one cancellation in the past 2 years.
Nice. Yeah. Usually, you kind of put a hedge against cancellations with a small deposit, a little skin in the game, but it hasn't happened to you. It's good, man.
No, it's been good. And I know that eventually, once we get bigger, I'll probably have to start taking smaller. I mean, because we're doing like 3 or 4 projects, sometimes 5 projects in a week now.
Well, I just tell people that, like, the deposits really give me some confidence in our schedule.
Yes. And it's small. It'll be probably something small, like, hey, just a $200, something here, 200 there. That's about it.
Interesting. So tell me about this stone thing. What are you doing?
So
we're throwing up stone on fireplaces now.
Yes, we're doing stone fireplaces. It's kind of a cool thing that people do around our area. My best friend, his name's Lewis. He owns a masonry company. And what happens for masonry companies, they slow down in the winter. So we kind of brought this, I brought this to his attention. I'm pretty good at marketing my company, and I think I have a good grasp on that, getting leads, obtaining leads. So we worked out something to where he has his crews, he's got all the material, everything like that, all the equipment that's needed. And basically all I do is feed him leads, send him out. He's a salesman. He goes and sells the jobs, and I make a percentage based off of it.
Is he getting any of your customers on the cabinet side?
No.
You're not looking at the fireplace during a cabinet estimate?
Now we are. But like, so that's how we sold our first 3 jobs. So our first 3 jobs is we had done cabinet, some interior work for a couple of individuals. And I looked at these rooms.
Is he doing your countertops too, or no?
No, he doesn't do our countertops. We got another guy that we use for countertops as well.
You almost have to do countertops if you're going to be a cabinet refinishing company.
See, right? So we have a tile backsplash. We have a floor guy. But the thing that we do is we actually don't, for like our kitchens, we just say, hey, pay us for our kitchen cabinets. And we actually just set them up with these guys and coordinate together to give everybody work. Like, I don't make money off of their tile. I don't make money off their countertops because I'm already the highest price for the cabinets,
I like
so
that.
It's like, let me make what I want to make, because some people want all that. They say, oh, you can do the floors, the countertops, the backsplash, and the cabinets, and it makes them take our price. So I'm like, yeah, we can get all that done for you.
I like that. That's good, man. That's good. Good business, bro. Doing well. What's in terms of next steps for you, man? Like, you you're kind of, man, like you're just one of those people that, you're at 750K. I know you want to hit that mill,
Yeah.
first time. This is
Yeah.
huge for you. And then you
I was
mentioned
really trying to hit that mill this year, man, but I was like trying to get it in, and because I
first
heard
year,
like,
right?
yeah. So I mean, I can't be too mad, but I really think I'll be able to double my revenue by next year. One of my big goals for in this off season is getting together a exterior crew. I actually turned down 62 exterior jobs last year.
Wow. That's your
62.
million.
That's right. So if I can have
you were
one
hyper
crew.
focused, right? You were just zeroing in on the cabinets. It looks like was your bread and butter, and then obviously you're probably taking some interior work along that, right?
Well, it used to be because we had such a small crew, I was finding just jobs for one crew, right? Well, then once we started getting more guys, it was starting to find I split up these crews, 2-man, 3-man, 3-man. You get what I'm saying? So now I had to, kind of figure everything out. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot easier to get jobs for, okay, I got 4 guys on this job. It's just easier to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
what I did was when I kind of reformulated all of like that equation and everything like that, that's kind of when I dialed all of that stuff in. And I was really just trying to get everybody, because I've been training a lot more. So I've made SOPs, but I've also been training them on the SOPs, right? So especially these new guys, I want them doing everything the elite way, not the way that they want to, because we get great results on the elite way. So that was one of my big hyper focuses during the summer as well, was doing that. Plus I was training 2 other individuals to start spraying. So this year is really going to be focused. I got that set in stone. If I bring on someone for interior, I have people to train them, right, in our systems. I have someone to train any cabinet refinisher in our systems. So now I'm going to lock down an exterior crew because we have tons of work for that as well in Michigan.
Dude, what's going on here? Are you going to be
Yeah.
running? Are you going to be running the show soon?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying, man.
Well,
I'm trying to do something.
A couple things, man. Real quick, you talked about humble beginnings. I talked to a lot of people on this podcast. I don't know. Have you ever listened to my podcast?
Oh yeah, this was when I first actually, like the painting contractors page posted, right? This Ask a Painter Live. I used to watch a lot of the Idaho Painter and stuff too. Like all of these things are what really like got my juices flowing. You know what I mean? Where I was like, because there's a lot of things that I was thinking, right? But I just needed to hear it from other people, like, oh no, like that's right what you're thinking, and he's already doing it, or he's already doing this, right? So those are things that like these really helped me, like these podcasts and stuff like that. Because when I was in the union, I used to listen to. That's what I did because I didn't have to think about painting. I would just listen to podcasts. Tony Robbins was a big guy that I listened to. Gary Vee was a big guy I listened to.
Feeding the mind. Love it.
Yes, feeding the
Well,
mind.
the reason
so
I
really
asked you this is you mentioned like humble beginnings on a personal level. I know that was there, but I do a lot of the business breakthroughs with a lot of people that are in this, like I call it the in-between phase. It's like they're in between when they first started their business and they just never turn the corner, man. Like it's just they're still in that limbo of like, and it's like, dude, you sound to me like you just fired out of a cannon, and it's like and it's like, bro, that is what is required. And it's like, you know what? You fired out of a cannon, you sought out the information, you did the research, you went through the process. A bunch of stuff was all over the place, but you learned, you picked up the pieces and you refined. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, what do you say to those people that I can't find good help? I can't, find customers. I can't, do this. My business is going to fail. Like, what can you just like give me a little bit of like some of the sauce here to help?
The biggest sauce that I'd say is that like one of the biggest thing, like it takes money to make money, man. And one thing is like when I first went into this, I was like trying to nickel, I'll throw 250, I'll do $20 a day on this Facebook advertisement, right? And I'll do this. Well, what you realize is that you don't get good results like that, right? So you really just have to it's scary because like you're like, okay, I don't have any, revenue. I might only have $5,000 to start this company with, let's say, right? Well, if I would have been smart, it would have been smart for me to just throw $3,000 of that right away into advertising, okay? Because the thing is like the advertisement is going, because you're not a brand yet, right? But you have to get yourself out there. So when people reviews, advertisement was huge. But I would say is like, there's going to be days where you feel super confident about this, right? And you're like, oh my God, I'm on a road to make millions. blah, blah. And then there's going to be days where you just want to go get a sales job and make, you know, 3,500 a week. Okay. But the big thing is that it is a grind, man. And you got to figure it out. Like, I'm big family guy. So like I try to work like 2 people while I'm at work. You know, I try to put in, you know, if it's 8 hours, I'm trying to put in 16 in that day.
I was going to segue into this because Nick, you are the freaking ultimate family guy. He comes up to me at the expo and he's like, yeah, I have 5 kids. I'm like, what? You know, so and then as I follow your story on Facebook, man, you're a family first type guy, and dude, you're everywhere. You're in SmackDown. Were you Jake Paul? Did you go there?
I was. I go everywhere. We go to a lot of Pistons games.
Dude, you guys are freaking everywhere, man, and I love it, man, because it's impactful, and it's like this is somebody that's living the dream. You know, you build and you work so hard to be able to do this for your family. How do you find the balance, bro? And can you tell me what the impact has been on your family in the last year overall? Tell me what that's been.
So like, it's obviously it's crazy. I mean, for real, because I'm making more, like, I know the business is doing well. Everything's going so great. But my big thing was one of the biggest cornerstones when I was getting my own company was because I used to work and then I used to work after work. So I'd, you know, be gone and I'd be tired by the time I got home every day. You know what I mean? I'd play with my family, you know, as much energy as I had. But my big thing was no matter what, I'm going to get where I want to be, but I'm not going to sacrifice my family to do it. I'm just not, I don't care. Like, it's not a choice. So what I do is like, I work like I'm, you know, if I'm putting in 8, I'm actually putting in 16 to a normal guy, you know, an hour. I do a bunch of stuff. I time block my days. Like, I don't just go, I'm going to do this, this, and this. No, I literally know each hour what task I'm getting done. And then when I get home, I don't even bring my work phone home. I don't bring my iPad home, nothing. I just basically sit there and hang out. Now, when my kids go to sleep though, that's when, you know, I spend some time with my wife. Once she falls asleep, I usually put in another like 2 hours of just like content creation, like just building a bunch of, you know, like it just depends on what I'm trying to do, building SOPs, stuff like that. And I'm willing to put in that work, and I'm willing to do that so that I can spend time, and my kids will never say like, oh, you know, my dad got a bunch of stuff, but he did, you know, he wasn't there. You know, I'm just not willing to have that happen.
Yeah, I love the forward thinking, man, and making them a priority. And you got to put in that extra time, man. You know, me too. At nighttime, like if you're not doing that, because what's interesting is you need that time to reflect on the day that happened. You know, like you can't go through a whole day of craziness and then, you know, so I like that because I'm the same way. At nighttime, it's 2 hours usually at night, you know.
Night. Yeah. And in the morning too, I do a lot of that stuff too. So like I usually get up a little bit earlier. I do a lot of like, I'm big on prayer. I pray every morning. I pray with my kids when I take them to school. I just really, really believe in that. Plus structuring out like, you know, getting everything together for the day. You know, we have purple folders we give out to our guys with the work orders, the pictures. Shout out Dripjobs. Those new work orders are.
Hey, you like those?
Yes, I do like those. Oh, dude, it's great. The pictures are great with them. Because,
wait till we release the company cam integration, bro.
Yeah, I have company cam too, so I'm super hyped about it.
It's one click, boom, all the pictures in one shot in seconds.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so I really a firm believer on those kind of things though. But I'll just be real with you. The biggest thing that I can tell you guys is like, if you want to be big and you want to do it fast and you want to try and, you know, be like these guys that you see and stuff like that, you got to grind, dude. It's a grind.
You said one of your things was, you know, it takes money to make money. But like, you know, do you remember your mindset about money when you were an employee? And then was there a shift that had to occur?
100%. You have to make that shift.
Because you remember, would you make $800 a week? And then you're spending that on an ad? And it's like, whoa, I can't. It almost feels. Did you ever feel guilty?
Listen, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I had never spent. I remember when I hired the marketing company, and because I do math, I'm a big math guy. So I'm like, okay, $1,500 a month for 12 months. That's like more than my salary was. Okay, so I'm like, think like that. But what you have to realize is that it's ROI. Worry about ROI. So if that $1,500 right accumulates you to $80,000 worth of work that month, that's where you have to train yourself to look at it. Because I spent $1,000 on direct mail, okay, and this was like the worst that I've had it. I think I got 3 leads from it, but I closed 14 grand from it. Okay, so am I gonna be mad about the 3 leads I got from it, or am I gonna be happy about the 14 grand?
Great investment.
You see what I'm saying?
If you look at
you
that,
gotta like shift your thoughts.
That's a 1,400% return.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, you're checking all the boxes of success, man. I think everything this is to the listeners, everything I've ever talked about, just listening to Nick because he's doing it all. And bro, you're an inspiration. That's why I brought you on here. Humble beginnings, like, it's like, you ever think like when one of the homies makes it?
Yes. That's how I consider everybody, like you, Eric, Brad, like all the guys that I've met through this, man. The one thing is it's like I'm just so happy because I see everybody doing well, and I just literally am. One thing about me, man, is I'm so happy, when other people are being successful, and I think that has a lot to do with if you do good in this world, you get good back. If you honestly, like me and Brad are in the same neck of the woods, bro. He could ask me for anything, and I'd send it his way. Like, hey, how'd this work out for you? Great, and I send it his way because I just really don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. I feel like the only person I'm in competition is with myself and how I want to build this company, and that it's all on me. And when you take full ownership of that, it makes life a whole lot easier. It's a lot easier to blame people for things. But when you look at something like, okay, well, maybe he didn't do that right because I didn't spell it out right and train him good enough on that SOP that I had it written down on, right? So, I mean, if it's a repeat offender, that's a different story. But in the same sense, it's a lot easier to handle things that way than necessarily to blame everybody. You don't get anywhere by blaming everybody.
Yeah.
If you take ownership and you just, work harder, you get to where you want to be.
Love it, man. Love it. That sounds like servant leadership. Do you ever align with that?
I really consider, so I had really a lot of bad bosses. So I really try to be a great leader. That is one of my biggest things, and try to set my guys up for nothing but success. I try to set them up where everything's so easy to where even if they do something wrong, they're like, "Nah, dude, I know. Like that was my bad."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me make also a point that stood out to me. You posted on Facebook. Nick's a great friend to add on Facebook. You get a lot of great content.
Yeah.
But you posted something the other day about one of your employees. He was, I think maybe needed a place to live, and you made it your business to source out to your friend group to find somebody to help this guy. What was that about?
So he moved from Arizona. He seen me on the painting contractors page. He called me. We had a couple different calls. Came out here, had an interview. Great dude. I mean, he's a great dude, man. He's a great worker. Just a good dude. When I tell him so, I mean, he's never had an attitude on anything I ever told him. But yeah, he got into a little. He came out here to move with his girl. That didn't work out so much, and he needed some. And shout out, I got him a place to stay. He's going to be in somewhere with him and his kid by Wednesday. So they'll have a nice Thanksgiving. But yeah, I take pride in that, man. You know what I mean? Like I look out for my employees. I didn't have people that did that for me. And as long as they're looking out for me, I think that's part of being a business owner is, putting yourself, like I always pray for God to put me in a position to help other people. What would I be like if he put me in a position to help other people and I didn't do that?
Amen, bro. It's interesting. This is like a kind of like one of those things, if I make my business, if I make your business my business, make my business your business,
Yes.
And that's kind of like what you're doing. You're making their personal situations, you're in a position to help. And that is one of I honestly think it's the best part of business is just being in a position to help those that come to work for us each day. We're people too, just like they are. Awesome, man. Inspirational. Dude, thanks so much. Ton of value, as I knew.
Thank you so much for having me on here,
I recruited you here. Thanks for giving me your all here, I could tell. And it means a lot. All right, man. Well, if you get flooded with messages, it's, you probably got a lot of people are going to want to hear some more about your story. So how can they find you, man? What's the Instagram?
So we got the Instagram handle is Elite Paint Reno, at Elite Paint Reno. So you can find us there. TikTok, Elite Paint Reno as well.
You're gonna be doing some dancing?
Well, actually, what's funny is I just got in contact with a company. They're coming. We're doing 2 full days of content building for TikTok.
There you go.
Because dude, I tried TikTok. I'm gonna be real with you. It's over my head, bro. I couldn't get it. So shout out to the people that are doing their own content on TikTok. Good for you. But I'm gonna get that. Let someone else do that for me. But yeah, I'll be big on TikTok here soon. So stay tuned for that. Facebook page is where you'll see a lot of our stuff though. Elite. It's at Elite P&D. Facebook /Elite P&D. Check us out. We do a lot of post a lot of content, a lot of videos, walkthrough videos and stuff like that. So if you're interested in our company and want to learn more, definitely check us out on there.
Love it. Nick, you're the man, bro. We'll catch you next time.
Later, Tanner.
All right.